Greetings, Tomasio here, and we are talking about the violence at the Trump rally in Pittsburgh last night, and that's seemingly going to be happening just about everywhere he goes. I have some footage from last night in Pittsburgh. You might want to check this out.
Hello, Tomasio here in Pittsburgh. We have a Donald Trump rally. You can see what's going on. You have all these people who are violently protesting against Donald Trump, totally not understanding what he stands. They don't even know what he believes in. We're here, and you can see what's going on.
Okay, that was one video clip I did. I have another one I want to show you. When I say violent, I mean just check out the news. These guys were spray painting the police, not spray painting, pepper spraying the police. This was really, really bad. So here's another one.
Tomasio here in Pittsburgh for Donald Trump. We're stuck in line trying to get into the convention center, and we have all these protesters. Okay, they're here, many young people just yelling, screaming, taking their tops off, totally uninformed about the policies of Donald Trump. So, America's got to wake up. America's got to understand what's happening to our young people. They're being fueled by Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. And there's one thing, protest is one thing, but I mean, these people are disgusting. I mean, they're taking their clothes off. I mean, seriously. And they're saying horrible things and using horrible language, and they're very uninformed. They're uninformed. So, anyway, live reporting from Pittsburgh Convention Center. Hopefully we'll get inside. I don't understand why we are stuck here trying to get in. It makes no sense whatsoever. We've been stuck here for 20 minutes. So, but that's fine. We believe in America and making America great again. And we believe that Mr. Trump is going to lead this country the right way.
Okay, so I was there last night, and I'll tell you firsthand account. We were ready to get in to the convention center. There was maybe 500 people. It was way before Trump was supposed to speak, and they just simply shut the doors, and we had to wait outside. Which, okay, we didn't know what was going on inside. Was there a bomb threat? Who knows what was happening inside? We didn't know. No one was telling us. There were children in line. Next thing you know, the police removed barricades and let all the protesters, hundreds and hundreds of protesters, come down and stand on the street. On the street, not the sidewalk, the street. We were on the sidewalk. They're on the street and in our faces, shouting. Two girls had their tops off, two that I saw. And one guy's just like spitting, you know what I mean? I was getting spit in my mouth, spit on my face. Another guy, I said, where do you want Donald Trump to go? He said, hey, ho, Donald Trump's got to go. I said, where do you want Donald Trump to go? You better get the, like threatening me, okay? Because I asked him a question. So a lot of them had Sanders shirts on. The majority of them were white people, very horrible young people, just profanity. They were crazed. They were crazed, and they were allowed access. And trust me, for a good 15, 20 minutes, there's no one in between us and them. No one. There were a few cops, but that's it. and it was getting ridiculous, and the one lady I was talking to, her 11-year-old, 12-year-old son, it's the first time he ever saw a woman's breasts. Do you understand? This was very traumatic. Shaking their rear ends in front of us. It was not pleasant. Okay, this is the violence. Now, they're all misinformed. They're being told that Trump is against blacks. He's not against blacks. He's against Mexicans. He's not against Mexicans. He's against immigrants. He's not against immigrants. He's against illegal immigrants. He's not against illegal immigrants either. He just wants them to do it legally. He's against Muslims. He's not against Muslims. He's just saying until you stop chopping heads off of Christians, you're not coming into this country. Well, that's not all Muslims. Well, which ones is it then? Whoever it is, the good ones have got to pressure the bad ones to knock it off, or they're not going to be able to come into the country. That's fair. That's just fair. If Catholics were taking over Muslim homes, okay, and raping their women, putting their children in cages, dropping the gays amongst them from buildings, chopping the heads off of. If Catholics were doing that, right, and a country was saying, we're not letting Catholics in here, a Muslim country says, we're not letting Catholics in here. But they've already said we're not letting Catholics in here. But the point I'm trying to say is, even if you reverse it, they would do the same thing. You got to have leverage somewhere, and they would say the Pope's got to stop it. And the Pope's going to say, well, I don't have control over these people. They're saying that they're Catholic, but I can't control what they're doing. Well, yes, you can. You can come out and excommunicate them and do whatever you got to do to get your point across, okay? So that's where that is, okay? Muslims are fine here as long as they don't want to kill Christians or people who aren't Muslims. If you're not about killing people who aren't Muslims, then you have no problem here, okay? But we don't know which ones. That's the problem. We don't know which ones want to kill us and which ones don't. So self-defense is legit, okay? I'm going to tell you that right now. So all of their arguments are ridiculous. They're not making any sense. And when you question them, it's like, okay, so you think anybody should be able to come into this country, no questions asked? Yeah. Right. Do you lock your door at night? Yeah. Okay. Just doesn't make sense, guys. Okay? Listen, this is being fueled, and Ted Cruz is just as guilty. Okay? He's fueling this. Violence is what he's doing. He's inciting vulnerable people, as well as Hillary Clinton, as well as Bernie Sanders. Okay? They're fueling. And the mayor in Pittsburgh, he was fueling it too. I don't even remember his name, but he had a protest rally before this protest was going on. He was on the news saying Trump's a jagoff or something like that. I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. They're using Donald Trump to be the the scapegoat for all their anger and frustration, okay? And it's very sad that they're taking a white, wealthy male, father, husband, and they're trashing him. They're trashing him for telling the truth, which is really, really pathetic. But don't kid yourself. That's what's going on here, okay? Now, when you have Mike Tyson and guys like that who are backing Trump, trust me, they're not going to be backing someone who's racist. They're not. And, same thing with many Hispanics are backing Trump. It's just common sense, okay? You don't expect to go to Mexico, do you, and just stay there and get on their system without registering with their government as, an American citizen seeking citizenship in Mexico? That's how you do it. That's how his wife did it. And now Melania is getting the treatment now. That's because she's a legal immigrant, and Anderson Cooper's disrespecting her, not asking her proper questions, as Donald Trump's wife. So, yeah, the violence, and it's going to continue. I heard it's happening in New York tonight. It's going to continue. They tried to block Donald Trump's car from getting in last night. So we go in, we finally get in, we see half of his talk, okay? And there's plenty of room in the convention center. There was no, problem there. So, Donald talks and we hang out a little bit at the end and we're leaving and walking. And I asked an officer, I said, Officer, what was the reason why you had us standing out there all that time? And he said, I don't know, you're going to have to ask someone from the convention center. That's way above my pay scale. So, sure enough, the gentleman who was the general manager of the Pittsburgh Convention Center was standing like within 10 feet of me. And they pointed him out to me. And I said, Sir, we're standing outside. There were children with us. These women were exposing their breasts. They're shaking their rear ends. And it was horrible. What reason was there to let us stand out there and then have all these protesters come in front of your property and be disgraceful and disgusting? And you know what he did? He called for a security guard and told him to get me out. That's right. He told them to get me out. So there were a lot of problems last night. And the cops were, the ones, they're just following orders, and they're doing a good job. But clearly, who's ever given the orders was clearly against Trump and against us who were Trump supporters. Clearly, that was so clear and so obvious. So don't kid yourself. This stuff is going to continue to happen, and somebody's going to get hurt. The protesters last night were spraying the police with pepper spray. That's a true story. Check it out in Pittsburgh. And why? Because Donald Trump's telling the truth. So obviously somebody doesn't want the truth to come out for all this attack that's going on. So I would say stay strong. Don't waver. Don't be afraid. We got to stand up. This is it. Let it happen now. The battle for truth, the battle for America, the battle for our country, for our rights, for our freedoms. Let it happen. Let it clearly happen. And let the truth prevail. Thank you. Check out Catholics for Trump on Facebook. God bless.